This is we're doing lesson 1, part 2 for module 1 of Eureka Math. So in this lesson, we're going to learn how to divide a whole number by a power of 10. So remember, a power of 10 is like 10 to the first, which is 10, just 1 10, or 10 to the second power, which means 10 times 10, which is 100, or 10 to the third power, which means that we're multiplying 3 tens. 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 is 1,000. So we're going to take a whole number and divide by 10, 100, or 1,000. So I can divide a whole number by a power of 10 is our target. And we are going to be really focusing on the place value. So again, our number is going to be 345. So this 4, the place value of that 4 would be 40. So we're really going to be thinking about that this isn't a 4, it's 4D. This isn't a 3, it's 300. So that's that place value. And our strategy today is to use a place value table. Okay, so we're going to start with 345 divided by 10, and we're going to draw our place value table. And remember from last time, that's a very large rectangle. And I want to make it really big and wide because we're going to be writing lots of things in here. So we're going to start, since this is the hundreds place value, we're going to think hundreds. And then we have the tens place value. The ones place value. And then behind the ones place value, that's where our decimal goes. And it's really helpful to think about money. So when we're counting up money, dimes is 10 cents. 10 of them would make one whole dollar. So that's 1/10 the size of, or the 1/10 the amount of a dollar, right, would be 1 dime. So that's our 1/10, our 0.1, right? That's our 1/10. So this is our tenths place value. And this is what we can think of as our dimes. And then thinking about money again, we can think about the penny. The penny, it would take 100 of them to equal the amount of $1 or 1 whole. So it is 1/100th the size, meaning that one of them is 1/100th the size compared to 1 whole. And that would be 0.01, right? That's how you would write how much a penny is worth. And then behind that would be the thousandths with a THS on the end, thousandths place value. And again, if we could take that penny and we could cut it up into 10 pieces, just one of those little pieces would be how much 1,000th is compared to 1 whole dollar. So 1,000 of them would make 1 whole dollar. So 0.001. So this would be our tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So the 1 goes in the thousandths place value. Okay? Okay, so 345 divided by 10. So what we're going to first do is we're going to place our whole. So in a division problem, we have a whole divided by a part, and that's going to equal our quotient for the answer to our division problem. So we're going to write our whole in the place value chart, 345. Well, I know the 3 is actually 300, so that 3 goes in the hundreds. I know that the 4 is actually the number 40, that needs to go in the tens. And then the 5 needs to go in the ones. And we're going to make it easier on ourselves, and we're going to decompose this and think of it as 300 divided by 10, 40 divided by 10, and 5 divided by 10. So starting with this is going to be 300 divided by 10. So if you had $300 and you made 10 equal groups, how much money would be in each group? So hopefully we know that that would be 30. Okay, we don't have even 100 in the group, so I need to move this 3, right? And that would be 3 tens. 30 we can think of as 3 tens. And so we're going to move it here, and that's where the 3 now goes, right? It needs to go in the tens place value. We're going to move on, and our next part that we're going to do is 40 divided by 10. So again, thinking about money, if you had $40 and you're dividing it into 10 equal groups, how much would be in each group? So I am going to think 4 would be in each group. And I can check with multiplication, right? I could count, if I have 4 10 in 10 groups, that should be a whole of 40. So I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and then 40 would make 10 groups of 4. Now, this 4 is just 4 ones, right? So that needs to go into the ones place value here. So I'm going to move the 4 into the ones place value because it should be there in our place value chart. Now this next one for 5 divided by 10, you'll notice that our whole, right, 5, is less than what we're chopping it up into. So thinking again about money, if we have $5 and we're putting it into 10 equal groups, there won't even be one whole dollar in any of the groups. So I'm going to make this a little smaller over here because we have lots of room. And I'm going to draw a picture, okay? So for 5 divided into 10 groups, right? I'm going to have 5, and then I'm going to put something into each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to think how much could go into each group. Right now I'm just going to put 1/10 into each group until I get to 5 wholes. So I can think 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10. 10/10 would equal 1 whole, right? So that's only 1 whole. So that kind of gives me an idea that I could probably keep doing that until I get up to 5. So I'm going to put 1 more 10th into each group, and then that would be another whole or 2 altogether. And then I'm going to put in another 10th, and then I will have 3 wholes, and I'm going to put in another 10th into each group. And I'm trying to get to our whole 5. So this is a total of 4 so far. And so I'm going to put 1/10 into each group. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wholes total. And inside of each group, if I added this up, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10. So inside of each group is a total of 5/10. So 5 divided by 10 is 5/10. So we can think 0.5 here. 5/10 with a THS on the end. So that needs to go into this place value here. So we're going to move the 5 into this place value. Okay, the one right behind the decimal. So now we are done. We have divided 345 by 10. We divided 300 by 10. We got 30, so 3 tens. 40 divided by 10 was 4, so 4 ones. And 5 divided by 10 was 5/10. So our answer is 34 and 5/10. So our quotient is 34 and 5/10. Do you see a pattern?